Hey guys.
Are you going?
Yeah, we're going, man. It's casual.
Dude, here's why I love
Welcome to the Afterlaugh. Go ahead. Adam Ray is my guest, and he's looking at his phone.
Afterlaugh. First of all, love the song. Do listen to the pod. You're great. Song is great. But real quick to segue into our first topic.
Yes.
Facebook.
Is that a thing?
A buddy of mine from Universal Studios, where I worked, posted a picture of him with a glass of milk with a real serious face. I said face and faced. Okay, so he says, always shoot first. Hashtag Blacks Pyre Outpost. For a behind-the-scenes look at this photo, see somebody else's handle, hashtag Instastory. Dude, if I ever post a picture of me with a glass of milk, it better be like some Got Milk outtakes.
Yeah.
Or like I'm getting ready to launch my cookie company, and I'm like, this is, you know what goes great with cookies? Milk. And then while I got you here, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm
so confused what that was about. What was he posting?
Exactly. So here's the thing. If you're going to post a picture of you with a glass of milk, what do you think needs to be? What would the post? It'd be some sort of a joke, right?
Yeah.
'Cause we're comedians. When you post something.
Cum, boobies, something.
Cum and boobies, dude. Yeah, probably. All right, let's get into the podcast. That's what you call the cold open.
I'm so smart that I came up with cum and boobies from milk,
dude.
aren't
The
I?
show's not getting any smarter than that.
By the way, I want to quick segue into the fact that you worked at Universal Studios.
Sure.
So I think I knew that. Were you Wolverine?
I was, yeah. I think probably when you met me, I was just done with that or just started it. But that was 2010 to 2012. No, Wolverine was 2008 to 2010, and then I was a New York cop where I walked around the park in like a fake 1940s cop outfit.
Around Universal Studios.
Yeah. Just trying to mix it up with people, doing shitty bits like blowing a whistle at John Stamos while he's walking slow and being like, you know, slow down, Jay, you're going too fast. It's not a race. To which Stamos looked at me, acknowledged that I was an actor trying to do a bit, and just goes, nice. And I was like, oh, boy. Uncle Jesse just pulled the rug out from under a struggling actor at a theme park.
Wait, so you were up until 2012? You were doing
13. No, 11. And then I got fired because I started taking road work with Bobby Lee. My boss was like, it looks like you don't really want to be here. I was like, yeah, you're exactly fucking right. This is a means to an end. She's like, look at Shay. He wants to be here. He's number 1 Captain America. He's number 2 Falcon in the Waterworld show.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you're number 3 Wolverine, Adam. You know why? Because you don't want to be here. I'm like, Jenna, you're so fucking right. And guess what? Number 3 Wolverine, even when you say that, makes me feel bad about myself. So maybe just say Wolverine. You know what I'm saying?
That's when you learned you were the number 3 Wolverine.
And then, that third string Wolverine, Jay Moore used to bust my balls about that. And every time he sees me, he calls me third string Wolverine. And it's like, because that's what because one time I told him, I was like, there were 3 guys on the call sheet. When I got hired, there were 2 guys above me.
Yeah.
And so it was like a rotational thing where it was like that one guy for a while had 5 days a week. And then I had 3, and another guy had 4. Because you always had 2 Wolverines rotating. Like 35 minutes on, 25 off. But when I told Jay I was third on the call sheet, he's like, you're third string Wolverine. And I was like, dude, that makes it sound way worse than it is.
There's got to be a TV series there. Have you written that pilot?
A friend of mine and I have definitely chalked up the world for an animated series. And, you know, it's funny in this business how, you know, nobody knows what the fuck is right or wrong, or what can go and what can't, and what is right and what's wrong. And literally I had one manager who I kind of pitched this to loosely had another client, Paul Scheer at the time. He said, try to pitch a theme park show to HBO. And he said it didn't go because it was going to be too expensive. And I go, well, yeah, this is animated, so we can do anything.
Yeah.
I don't know how much it's going to cost to make it because I don't know, because I'm a couple years into this. But I feel like you can do way more, and it's not live action, so you don't have to build a theme park. And he just was, and I think probably part of him was like driven by, I have another client trying to do a theme park show, so why would I try to get another one going? But all it took for me not having enough chutzpah and you know, balls to really to go, oh, that's just one opinion, and it's not like this guy's the gatekeeper, but it was enough to crush it for me.
Yeah.
So looking back, it was like, I mean, I'm sure we've all had those things where it's one person is like, I don't know, whether it's an audition or whatever, or even a crowd, and you're like, all right, I guess that joke didn't work because that crowd didn't like it.
Yeah.
You have to have the wherewithal to go, no, that's one time.
Yeah. There's like a learned helplessness that can happen all of a sudden. Like I went through pitches, and then when they died, I'm like, never again. They don't work out. I'm Eeyore now.
No.
Now I do want to say
you're Pooh. You're Winnie the Pooh.
My first exposure to you. That sounded really sexual, but my first exposure to you was
through the window of a coffee bean.
So let's backtrack. You went to USC or UCLA? Yep. USC.
USC, yeah.
And you were an acting major.
Yes.
You had, Tom, you probably haven't seen this, but you had it was like a prank video you made where you won the lottery.
Oh, yeah.
With your girlfriend. And what was really cool about this...
That was the girl that I actually made the Universal Studios cartoon with.
Yeah,
the girl
we
who
should
played my wife in it.
We should play maybe the audio of this on the podcast.
By the way, she cried in the sketch. It was my first intro to somebody in a video that was so silly, bringing it, and I was like, oh, damn. Because, like, for people who haven't seen it, there was a part on America's Funniest Home Videos in the show where, they'd have these, Tom Bergeron would set up like, dad's getting hit in the nuts. And then here's a funny thing of people falling off of ladders and whatever. And this one was fake lottery tickets, which is very evil if you truly think about what that is. Giving somebody a ticket in which they think their life is changing and then it's not.
Yeah.
What? And so Bergeron's like, we all know these fake lottery tickets, blah, blah, blah. We all get them. And boy, is it silly. And let's take a look at a few people that, and then they would show on the real show people that got these tickets. They freak out, and then everyone laughs, and they quickly go, nah, it's a joke, Aunt Karen, you dumb fucking bitch. And she's like, oh, how dare you? All right, well, it's still my birthday, right? And like, yeah, I guess. And so one kid in the corner, I guess it's your birthday. So we chose to take the heightened sketch version of that and have me freak out on my brother and my
your girlfriend,
call my boss and quit, basically showing what would really happen if someone thought they won the lottery. Call my boss, fuck you, Mr. Parsons, you piece of shit. And then telling my girlfriend that I'm hooking up with her sister and all this shit. And she starts like crying in the sketch. I remember doing it being like, holy shit. Like, and it made me like get lost in it a little bit more and like definitely like ramp up my, my acting. And
it's actually really amazing because it's believable. Like you look at it and you go, "Oh, this guy thinks he had a real like." You're acting.
Because my buddy shot it like really
great.
well to where it looks like it's on a home video thing. I got stopped at the airport. No joke. I don't get recognized every now and then from something or a video or stand-up clips, factory stand-up clips. Are seen by a lot of people. There's every now and then something. Not a crazy amount. But somebody did stop me at the airport about a year after that video and was like, "Dude, fucking." Like fake lottery video, man. And I was like, oh yeah, what's up? And dude, this was like a real early stage of even any like to where I was like, no way. And the TSA, and he's like, what's up, man? He's like, holy shit. He's like, that's crazy that shit happened, man. He's like, you still talk to that girl? And I was like, and I go, wait, what? And he's like, you still talk to that girl? And I was like, that was a sketch, man. And I go, that was not real. And he goes, nah, that shit was real as fuck, man. I go, no, I'm telling you.
Yeah,
because I did it. It was not real. And he's like, "Nah, dude, that's fucking crazy. Do you guys still kick it, or what's going on with that? So you didn't win that money. Would you go back to your job?" And I go, "No, man, it didn't. That was fake." And he was like, he just didn't want to buy it.
Oh, that's funny, man. No, it is really good. I remember it was one of those things I watched. I was like, "Oh, this guy's acting. Fuck him. He's good." You know what I mean? That little
dude.
Spark of jealousy.
Little YouTube.
And but it's cool. I've always wanted to tell you that. Thanks, I thought it was really great.
Let's welcome to the podcast real quick, Justin Ruppel for the first time on the Afterlaugh podcast.
Thank you, Adam. I appreciate it. It's good to be here.
Great, thanks, Jay.
Justin, do you want anything to drink or eat?
Do you want a Quest cookie?
I'm all good.
Do you get down on Quest protein cookies, Justin?
I have not. I've never before.
There's one for you right there, bro.
Maybe we spark this Jay up real quick and keep the good times rolling.
Now, I'm going to be very light on this because I become very retarded after like 3. I call this the Matrix Buster because when I smoke this, all of a sudden like people get revealed to me. You know what I mean?
Whoa.
Like truths get revealed to me. So if you're a bad person, I will know this after like 3 hits.
Yikes.
And you'll probably, okay.
I like how you're lighting it though, dude. That's like you got that stage puff too. Like, have you smoked in a theatrical production? Because do people know that you are a true stage thespian?
That's why I appreciate your fake lottery ticket gag.
Because you're an actor, dude.
Because I'm an actor.
I love that about you, dude. We got that
You
going
too.
for us.
By the way,
there's a lot of comics turned actors. I feel like we were the other way around.
Yeah, so you were. Let's get to your comedy. How did comedy start for you? You were an actor, and then you came out.
I was raped by a clown when I was 9.
I knew it. That's the same old story, man.
Is it? What if it was? God, that would be a real big bummer. Real big bummer if that was like true intro for a lot of comedians. And everyone's like, dude, all these guys have the same clown rape bit. And they're like, no, that's a real thing, dude.
Yeah.
There's a lot of clowns in the 80s that went around trying to get kids into comedy.
He was raped by.
It's like, why didn't they just show them how to do like balloon animals and give them punchlines? They were horny too. All right, you can cut that out. But
no, it's the best.
leave it in. No, I saw Eddie Murphy Delirious when I was a Jewish kid. That doesn't matter. When I was in the 10th grade. And I think before that I'd seen some Sinbad videos. I saw John Belushi's SNL Best Of that my dad showed me, and I was like, this is crazy. The Sinbad was probably my first taste of stand-up.
You saw him live, or you saw his tape?
I wish, dude. No, on video. But I did, full circle. Then when Sinbad was coming to the Ontario Improv and I started kind of getting to the host rotation at the Improv, I hit up Katie West and I go, Katie, my dad's living in Laughlin right now, working as a doctor. That's 4 hours away. I go, Sinbad's coming in a month or now from now. I go, you got to let me host so I can bring my dad out. And like, because that's like, this is what he showed me, and he was a big Sinbad fan, and now I'm going to come like be on the shows. And we hung and then stayed up, by the way, till like 3 a.m. every night, just shooting the shit. Sinbad has stories for days.
Sure.
And by the way, he murders. He told a story about him and Martin Lawrence performing for the ambassador of Cuba, and Martin Lawrence not knowing that the ambassador's wife was front row, and apparently she was kind of heavy. He's just ripping her with some fat jokes, and they put a hit out on Martin, and so they had to sneak him out on a boat, and we're trying to kill him, and they sneak him out before Sinbad went on.
Holy shit!
And this was a throwaway story, and I'm like, oh boy! And it turned into a podcast without mics, where I tried to just keep asking questions. And he's also friends with everybody, and just seen it and done it all. And
he just seems like a nice guy.
Talking about the times in stand-up where we didn't have phones and all that, and he literally you did a gig. I think it was like late 70s or early 80s, and he's like, you did a gig, and then they booked you, and you wrote it down in your calendar. They wrote it down, and you're like, all right. I don't have enough money for a plane, but in 8 weeks, I'm gonna leave Texas and go back to Florida and get there somehow.
Yeah,
and I'll come back and I'll just be here for this gig.
Jesus.
But yeah, true beast. But so that was the first stand-up I saw. Living Color was a big culprit of all this.
Yeah,
and then obviously you get your individuals with like Robin Williams and Jim Carrey and Sandler and Belushi. Obviously, Farley was a big one.
Yeah.
Farley probably took it up a notch. It's also like the time where you start to get, like I used to prank call a lot of Seattle sports radio stations. That was like one way I was like, oh, I think whatever. Like to me, it was just fun and silly. But then I would,
or whatever.
Dude, at one point I would call the 950 KJR radio station, and I called one time 4 times in a row in different voices, and they put me through every time. And I literally call, like one time would be like, hey, what's up? My name's Kevin from Puyallup. Yeah. I think I just they pick up. They go, "What do you want to talk about?" I go, "It's Kevin from Pibb." They go, "What do you want to talk about, Kevin?" I go, "Just a bit." And I would always come in with like a legitimate gripe, so that they would just put me through. So I'm like, "This is the pitching. It needs to get better." So I just hit my inhaler. Just the pitching needs to get a little bit stronger. They're like, hang on, and they put me through. Now, Kevin from Pibb, what's going on? I was like, guys, we need to trade Ken Griffey Jr. He's like, I think we could trade him for some hot dogs and some cookies. And there's like, you're done, Kevin. They click, they hang up. And I call right back and be like, hi, this is Toby from North Seattle. My mom won't wash my jersey, and I don't want to know if you guys like know how to like wash stuff, because like we don't have water or soap. And there's like, all right, dude, you're done. Like they just hang up, and then every now and then I'd get on and they'd like let me stay on for a minute, and I'd just kind of riff with them and This was all super late night. I'd tape it on my first Sony on a cassette tape, and then I'd bring it on the bus the next day and play it from my buddies on the bus, and they would all just like, "Oh my god, I can't!" And we'd all laugh, and then I was like, "Oh shit, that was kind of fun to keep doing that." And then I started impersonating friends and teachers, and then there was a girl named Annie Bernhard who was like the new girl in school, and she moved to Seattle in the 4th grade. Everybody had a crush on her. She had a real big crush on my skinny athletic friend Evan Hatch. And didn't have a crush on me because I was a fucking fat kid, even though I was way funnier than Evan. And so I realized I could. This is very real. I could mimic Annie's voice, right? Yeah. My voice hadn't hit to where it is now, but I can she had a real faint voice, almost a little raspy. And so I would call Evan because I had his number. Because you get the phone tree, you get the phone book. And I would pretend to be Annie and call him and talk to him for 20, 30 minutes at a time.
Oh, my God.
My buddy's just sitting there laughing.
Would you record it? Too?
No, that seemed too diabolical.
Fuck. You need to like this again?
And then I would, go to the school the next day and be like, and Evan's like, he bragging. He's like, yeah, Annie, I talked on the phone for like 2 hours last night. Or like, no way, what happened? And I would start guessing things that I was like, did this happen? He's like, yeah.
Oh my God.
And then finally I told him, I mean, that's diabolical shit when you really think about it. Fucking the 5th grade. Yeah.
Oh, this is 5th grade too.
Oh, yeah, dude.
You were advanced, man.
Isn't it funny? It's all for girls. Like I had such a crush on her, and I was just like, I hated that she liked him. And dude, I remember when I found out that like he had a birthday party and like didn't invite me, invited Annie, and all these other people went. So it was also like double. I was doubling down on my hatred for the Hatch, And by the way, cut to married my high school girlfriend, high school sweetheart.
He did. He married.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
so I guess
he got his revenge.
Fuck yeah, he did. Wow, I've never actually put that together because I did tell him one day. Right, finally, it was just like one of my buddies, Aaron Skinner. He was like, dude, you gotta tell him. You gotta tell him you can't keep fucking with him. Like he thinks he's really talking to her, and like look at him at school. He's like being way more flirtatious and friendly with her, and she's not. She's also a girl in the 4th grade, so she's not completely having it. Like she's not looking for a Me Too, but she's looking for a fucking like a. Like I don't know, insert funny improv, but she's not all about everything that you're doing in the fucking 4th grade. And so I told him one day, Reese was like, hey, so how you talking going with Annie? He was like, yeah, good man, things are great. I think we're gonna skate next week at the skating party. I was like, that's fucking crazy, dude. I remember when I asked Ellen Brolite and she fucking like stuck her tongue out at me, and I asked her outside the bathroom. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But so. I gotta tell you something, man. He's like, what? I'm like, have all the talks with Annie been going great? And I kind of did the voice. Oh yeah, and he just goes, what? Dude, I'll never forget his face. Isn't that crazy? Oh. Just pale white. And he was like, he goes, what was that? What was that? He knew what it was, but he was so just shell shocked. He's like, why'd you do that? And I was like, man, I've been fucking with you, man. I mean, I didn't say that cool. I didn't say that cool in the 4th. I've been fucking with you, dog. Yo, I've been to Bernhard. No, I was like, her name was Annie Bernhard. I said, it's been me, man. And he was just like, walked away, was like, just like out of his element, and I felt bad. So again, to your point,
sounds like
to your point a few minutes ago, cut to marries my high school girlfriend. So like,
and they're
by the way, he called me. And they're married still? Yeah, with a couple kids.
Married with a couple kids?
He's also bald, so like I guess things came back around. What's that?
He called you recently?
No. Justin's laughing when I say he's bald, so things come back around. Because that, for sure, I got to be honest, dude. By the way, let's just take a moment to acknowledge the hair on this patio right now.
Yeah.
You got 4 gentlemen with a head of hair.
Yeah.
Who, when we were born, they didn't have to be like, should we take some in the pubes and put them on the head? Like, this kid's got nothing up there.
Yeah.
By the way, no doctor would ever suggest that. But if they did, you'd be a little curious to be like, how much are we paying this guy? Because he's funny, and I think he was joking about the pubes on the head thing. But if he does do that, maybe that's like revolutionary.
If you think about it, like, you don't need your pubes anymore.
Are we talking about a baby's pubes right now?
Great point. And that need to be said.
Should we take this baby's pubes and, move them up?
So funny. Is that me or the doctor?
This baby's got a full bush.
Yeah,
this
baby
has
has
an impression of you as
the doctor.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then somebody in the back is just like, yo, doc, can we just all talk about the elephant in the room? This baby's got a full set of pubes. What happened in that placenta? And he's like, dude, I wish I knew. And you're like, whoa.
You're not supposed to take Rogaine while you're pregnant.
Activities. What's that?
You're not supposed to take Rogaine while you're pregnant. It's a woman taking Rogaine.
Oh my God. That's a great meme, by the way.
Wait, you used an Adam Ray? I didn't know that.
Oh, thanks, guys. I do you on stage, by the way.
Do you really?
It's my only impression.
No, you don't.
Yeah, it's most of my act.
You got to do somebody famous.
I do all your bits.
Hilarious.
It's you.
I love that
Put a
about
wig
you.
on.
Wait,
I love
let me
that.
see.
At UCB.
Let me see you do an Adam Ray impersonation.
He just did it.
I just
but
did it. I can't do it again.
How about a bit? You know, when my buddy Sandy Danto used to do an impression of me, and he would just do like my first bit that I would, that first bit you have where it's like, whether it's a 5-minute set, a 3-minute set,
What is
or
your
a
first bit? I
20-minute
gotta
set.
hear it.
Well, the first bit that I remember doing was a bit about, I did Giggles Comedy Club in Seattle. They're just turned into Jiggles for a minute, the strip club, then back to Giggles. Now it's Laughs Comedy Spot. But it was where I would do open mics. I did one before I moved down here, and then when I go home for the holidays, I could get 15 to 20 friends to come out, and I was like, I'm going to do 2. I would do one on, I think it was Sundays, and when? Sundays and Thursday?
Thursday night.
Yeah.
And what year is this? This is like
2001.
Oh,
2001. 2007. But see, here's why I say I started in 2007. Because 2001, I did, that year, let's see, in December when I go back, 2 open mics.
Yeah.
And then when I would go back in that summer, another 2 open mics.
Yeah.
4 open mics over a year. That's not doing it.
Yeah.
Right? And that happened for 2001, then not in 2002 or 2003. And then 2004, I studied abroad in London from college and did like 4 bar shows, right?
Yeah.
So now we're talking, 12 times?
Yeah.
And then not again until 2007. So starting 2007, you don't count 12 times over 4 years. You wouldn't
Yeah.
add that up and go, I've been doing it this long. No.
It's interesting, though, that-
2007 is when I started, when I go, I'll drive to Santa Barbara to do 8 minutes before a guest spot. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
exactly.
Because I want stage time and I want to get out of here and I want to do a show that's not a mic.
So when you started and you were doing like just a couple bar shows, were you did you not look at it as your thing, your passion? Were you kind of not that into it, or what was the reason that kept you from being OCD about it? Like a lot of people are like, after I did my first show, that was it. I was busy.
Yeah, no, I knew. I actually did know, and it was
Scary.
Yep, and I would find reasons to not do it, and then I would do. I was doing a lot of sketch and improv too. So when I started, and even in 2007, I was doing a bunch of open mics, and then some shows at the Ha Ha, and but classes at Groundlings for a little bit, and then UCB. And I was like, I'm gonna just keep my foot in both pools.
Yeah.
And I was doing all these improv rehearsals and trying to get a sketch group going, and then trying to do the mics. And it was just a lot, and I was just not sleeping. I was so tired, and I was like, man, going back and forth is like. And every time I'd be at the stand-up, and then I would leave to maybe go hang out at an improv thing, and I was like, I gotta do. It's got to be one or the other.
What made you choose stand up over improv?
Oh, not relying on anybody but you.
Yeah.
It seemed way more challenging. Not that improv is not, and the people, and even in the classes and shows we did, whatever. Like there is a skill to that, and an art form, and a listening ability, and it's great in its own right. But and again, it's like I don't like to make a blanket statement like this is better than this. This is more challenging than this. But for me, stand up just felt more challenging, and I was more afraid of it.
Yeah.
Improv, I just was like, oh yeah, going on with other people. Yeah. And
Yeah.
like, and I've developed a rapport with these people, so I feel real comfortable. So yeah, it is fun, but I don't feel scared because I was just
Yeah.
like, even if I fuck up something and say whatever, I got someone right there to get me.
Yeah.
If you got a cool group, which I feel like I did, So stand up felt more challenging, and only relying on you for your rehearsals with your mics, and I felt like it was like the drop of a hat. I could be at a friend's birthday party I didn't want to be at, and get a call being like, "Do you want to go do this show, or
Yeah.
can you fill in here, or hey, there's this new mic here." Like, and I was like, "Oh, fucking, I'm out." So I always knew because of that too that I
Yeah.
was starting to make it a priority, but I was still scared of what I knew that it took. You know what I'm saying? Which was being at clubs all the time and just really giving yourself over to it. I was dating a girl at the time, and I just wanted to still do that, and
Yeah.
and so once her and I broke up, she fucked a camera guy in Reno, yada yada yada. The next Pixar movie, but and I've said this before, but I made a video of that whole situation. I wrote a song about it called Reno Cheater, and then my buddy animated it, and it's on YouTube. Look it up. It's a catchy
Reno
ass
Cheater.
song.
I love
That
it.
guy who fucked my ex, Jeff. What up, Jeff? If you're listening, I use his real name in the fucking cartoon in the song, and people that I got to know who worked at the station through my ex hit me up later, being like, "Yo, long time, haven't talked to you. Hope all's good. Blah blah blah." Jeff, who you met, who fucking I found this video, friend sent it to me. He still works here. He saw it. He thinks the video's hilarious. I thought you should know. And I'm like, of course he does. It's all about him fucking my ex. You know what I'm saying? And but that was crazy to me. But so once we split, because obviously that was a deal breaker.
Yeah.
It was tough to take though, because like I don't know if you've gotten cheated on, but you definitely start asking questions that you don't want to know the answers to.
Like what?
Oh, dude, I was just like, she told me we were gonna drive to San Fran from Reno for Thanksgiving to be with her family, and I sit down and we were in a room and we're gonna hang out for an hour and then drive up to San Fran. All of a sudden, she just sits down on the bed and pulls out a piece of paper and just starts crying, and I just go, "You've been working on some short stories?" I go, "Why are you getting so emotional?" Like, and she just goes, I have to tell you something. And I was like, "Oh God, what do you have to? What? Why?" She's like, "So you know that things have been kind of rocky," and I was just like, "Yeah," and she's like, "And I started hanging out with Jeff and I was like, and what?" And then I just went straight to it and I go, "Did he fuck you?" And she goes, and I was like, "Okay." And then I was like, "Oh yeah." And then I was like, "Did you suck his dick?" And she was like,
Oh my God.
I was like, "What did it taste like?" And she goes, "Why would you ask me that?" I was like, "I don't know. I'm having a tough time processing this information." What did it taste like? And then I was like, "Did you let him finish in you?" And she goes, "No, why? No, of course not." God. What do you mean, of course not? Like that's a dumb question that I just asked.
Yeah,
and
hey,
so
can you pull out come on my face, please? Jesus.
I know. I have
What are
a
you, an
boyfriend.
animal? Yeah, I have a boyfriend. Come on my face.
Can you come on my face? So, cuz dude, it was a
It's a
raw,
weird reaction,
emotional.
I said it like I haven't done it, by the way. Like,
Ask those questions.
yeah, every guy would do that when they get cheated.
I maybe I don't know. I mean, it just is so you're. What I knew was I can't leave because I'm in Reno, and where do I go? You know, jump into the Truckee River and drown myself.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Dude, plug that in.
Plug that in.
And so that was the end of that, dude. But we anyway, that happened. We broke up. And then I go, now I'm full into comedy. Now I got no reason to, nothing's holding me back.
You're at the clubs every night now.
And I got it. Now I have nothing to like rush home to maybe call or whatever it was.
Or go to dinner.
Yeah.
Or see a movie together.
And now it was, which is all fine, but I wanted a reason to not have to make an excuse. And so then I was all in and haven't turned back ever since.
We took a brief hiatus to bring in Justin's microphone.
Thank you.
You can hear his
Appreciate it.
dulcet tones now.
Well, it's a funny insight to Adam because when I started was 2006-07, and at the same club that he was talking about, he got his start.
Giggles, yeah.
Giggles, then jiggles, and giggles.
And
yeah, same stage, by the way.
That's
and same
hilarious.
sadness.
same exact
Actually,
same
you know what?
sadness.
We probably had more.
Yeah. No, there was more sadness at Giggles than there was at Jiggles. More money being made by
the
Jiggles.
strip club to comedy club thing has happened a lot. It was at the Times Square Laugh Factory. Did you ever do the Times Square Laugh Factory?
No, and I
That's
wish,
kind of
but
before your time.
I was out there with aforementioned Reno Cheater in New York doing open mics, and I would walk by it all the time and would just again like fantasize being like, God, I know I should go in there and try to, but it's such a scary thing to even like go into a comedy club by yourself, and you're like, I want to. Like in your head, you're like, I want to tell them that I like comedy, and then I'm thinking about doing it. Maybe they'll let me in.
Like, really? Get up on that stage.
Yeah, dude, you're that delusional, man.
You
right?
have to be.
When you
have
don't
to be
know.
to do it.
Yeah.
Well, when Adam would come back home for the holidays, I was part of that little group that would beg for stage time on the open mics, and if you gave enough game to the owner Terry, he would eventually put you up.
Yeah.
But Adam would come in on the holidays and literally just crush.
Yeah.
And you'd sit back. It was a group of
he's
like
talking open mics. So crushing for your friends.
Hey, but that's
it
a hard
doesn't matter.
crowd.
So like back then we would sit and talk about, all right, well, how do we go about this whole thing? And Adam had already been the only one who'd been to LA and done it successfully in our heads.
Yeah.
And
wait, so you're maybe talking like 3-4 years when I met you.
yeah, you
Right?
had already said 2000. I met you in 2007, 2008 before I had won the Giggles
Yeah, okay.
competition.
Ooh,
Oh,
shout
quit
out.
bragging.
Well, after he and
Way to make
Adam,
this podcast about your accomplishments, dude.
Adam and Jeff
We get it, you
left.
travel.
And Adam, Jeff, and Fahim had left. So
So
everybody.
who you were? Feem Anwar came up with you, and who else? Jeff? Who?
No, Feem's maybe I think Feem just says 17 years. I'm 12, so he'd been doing it.
Oh wow.
And so he to me was like doing it, like,
Yeah.
but I mean, so I didn't come up with anybody there. I mean, these are the people that were doing it around that time.
From the Seattle circuit.
From the Seattle circuit. But I guess then as it goes on, people.
But he built up a legend because
What a Clabe.
you
Legend.
don't
Because he
know.
would come and go and just murder and then
that's
leave.
what I'm saying.
Hilarious,
Yeah,
like just
that's
some
great.
like gunslinger.
He doesn't know
Not at
this
all the
because
case.
he wasn't part
He'd
of these
fuck your girlfriends and
conversations.
take off.
Fuck your mom's girlfriend.
It would basically
Your mom,
exactly.
you fuck your mom's girlfriend, dude. That is so. That sounds like a McConaughey line, or like who says that in a movie? Let's find the movie. Let's find the actor, and then the scene.
Fuck your mom's
Like I'm gonna. Like, is it
Who
a
would
threat as he
actually come
walks
in?
out? Like I'll see you pussies later. Yo, and Darnell. Gonna fuck your mom's girlfriend next week. Like the mom's gay, or is that like a saying?
Yeah.
Or because that is a
Dude,
true
it's
power
a,
slang.
It's a Mark
if your
Wahlberg-
mom's a lesbian,
it's a
Invented-
Wahlberg line for sure.
You just invented a catchphrase that's yet to exist, or
because if your mom is a true
One
lesbian
exists, you forgot
and
it.
her
One,
girlfriend
your
is
mom's
like, one, your mom's gay.
2, I broke her heart.
Whoa. And you fucked her girlfriend. Like she made that choice, and let's say she was also straight and married before that, and then divorced, and then became gay, and then falls in love after like years of not finding any sort of companionship. And her son is like off doing his thing, but loses his job and moves back home. And the mom's like, well, you can come in with me and Susan, because we're real happy, and I don't think the cats would mind, and I just feel like our energy's good for you. Come back and just be with us, but you won't be in the way. But if you are in the way, guess what? You're here, and we're here, and you're family. And then guess what? 3 months in, she gets busy with work. She starts traveling a little bit. Comes back. She comes in. We're snuggling on the couch watching Raiders of the Lost Ark. And she goes, "This is the best one." Guys, she comes from the back, and the couch you can't see. You just see the TV.
Yeah.
Because the couch is so tall that you can't see that there's bodies because we're stretched out.
Yeah.
69ing on the
You're
couch.
saying during Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Oh yeah, dude.
So you've seen Raiders enough. at
It's
this point.
1996.
Yeah,
We're
it's just-
doing everything on that couch.
It's just like background music at that point.
That couch is basically just.
he knows what parts to make the moves on.
Dude, I know where the recliner is and the cup holder, and I
Bad
ain't going in
dates.
that order. What's that?
After he says bad dates, you start eating box.
Yep.
This ain't my first time in your mom's house, okay?
Hilarious. This ain't my
I found
first
my way around
69.
pretty
I've
well.
39. I've 18. Yeah. So
Pick a number.
pick a number. What is
a
this,
number,
Baskin
buddy.
Robbins? Good night, everybody. So you're 69 and your mom's girlfriend on the couch, and then she goes, "Guys," and then you pop up, and then you just hear. Do 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 do, and a slow zoom on mom's face. I don't want to wait for our lives to be over. So what's the movie called?
I don't know. But what? How'd this even start?
Don't laugh. Give me a title.
Wait,
I got to sell this tomorrow. I got a pitch meeting at 7 a.m. to Hollywood,
Best
man.
mom's girl.
Your best mom's girl.
Your best mom's girl.
Or
It's called Darnell.
Darnell.
your best friend's mom's girlfriend.
It's called I Know What You
Oh,
Did
'cause
Last
it can't
Night.
be. Oh, dude. All these are joke titles.
BFMG.
What about a real title?
Yeah, let's get serious for a second.
Yeah.
Can we talk about this being a real thing or not? Anyway, moving on.
Wait, by the way.
Next question.
The next question is this. It is a bit. We never got to your first
Wait,
bit.
what?
Your
Oh, yeah.
First stand-up.
First bit.
yeah, yeah,
So, was at this gym and just fucking pumping iron. And I remember walking in. It was my first taste of like
Dick.
hilarious.
Sorry.
Well, seeing it. Old men that were comfy to be buck naked
Yeah.
in the locker room and walking in and being like I just look, high school kids. There was a kid named Morgan Nielsen in my high school, famously shit on his driveway, got grounded for a month. he did something called FP, Flaming Pubes, at basketball camp. He was 6'4", 240. He used to tackle kids buck naked in the shower. Looking back, like, whoa, nowadays you're like, hilarious. But he at basketball camp would spray hairspray on his pubes and then light them on fire, and it would go like this in a big flame, and we would all just die laughing. His name was Morgan Nielsen.
I would die laughing if I saw that right
Dude,
now.
I literally cried laughing watching that, which I'm like, what does that mean? No, dude, you got to take yourself back. On paper, not funny at all. Disgusting.
No, it's hilarious.
We're
It's funny on
adults.
paper.
We're
It's-
adults
it's-
back in the
in my
day,
kid mind,
and
it's
he's a big dude, and he's just like a Farley type guy. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And also a great athlete. So it's crazy.
How would he put himself out?
just hit it really hard.
By the way,
and other teams, it got so popular. Other teams would come down. We'd go up and be like, "Yo, Flaming Pubes."
Here's a great way.
And they would come down. I remember we packed the room one time with like 4 teams, and people were all. It was so funny, dude.
It's an intimidation.
And it made me so happy. I go, life can be so great. Like, look how many people. A lot of us didn't know each other. We're all down there for this camp, and like after that, like guys are hanging out, and guys are so easy and dumb and feeble-minded to where it was like we bonded over a fucking dude lighting his pubes on fire. Because afterwards we'd all like, holy shit, how funny was that? Oh man, what time is you guys game tomorrow? Oh shit, and you guys, now are you playing Kamiak? But yeah, but and all of a sudden you're making buddies with people, and you're just like, dude, over Flaming Pubes.
By the way,
so Morgan, yeah,
that'd be. This is
that was your first bit.
No, so I would see him tackle kids naked in the shower or whatever. All right, dude, back on track. First bit, I'm in the gym working out. I would come in after, and I was just like, all right, old guys get naked. That's the thing. They're just like, they don't care. They're just like, hey, this is me. I've been hiding it for 72 years. It's time to be me. And they wouldn't say that. That would have been weird. And I'm just like, all right, man, it's cool. I'm gonna grab a Q-tip, and then I'm out. But nobody was questioning the nudity. And so the joke was, would see this all the time and be like weirded out, but then my workouts would be killer. So then I started to think that like maybe I need to see it, but maybe I'm supersticious. Maybe I'm like, dude, it's not the protein powder, it's these old man dick and balls that I keep seeing 20 minutes before I hit the gym, and I have these great workouts. I'm always beating my best. So I was like, I'm starting to think I need to see this. So now I'm going in and being like, yo, Stan, can you turn a little bit like that? And then I'd be like, there we go. And then I'd go out and just be like, another record, so stupid.
See, that's why he's good in that early. If that's his first bit, I'm sorry.
No.
But can I say what's cool about that bit?
He's like, yo, do you mind if I do that?
It's a trope that the naked man in the gym is a trope that people may be a little hacky,
Right.
but that's completely different.
Oh, when it's your first thing
Completely
too.
different perspective.
Yeah, but hold on a second. As you said it, I was like, is he going to go to the traditional trope? And he didn't.
No, exactly.
What's the
That's
traditional trope?
The traditional
Traditional
trope is
trope is put
these
it
naked
away,
men with
man.
their
It's
dicks, like,
gross,
they
you
put
know?
in their socks, their shirt, and their watch.
And
Dick's
he's
still
putting it in
out.
my
Like,
face,
what's going on?
and you dangling the mic. But if your turn,
But you did a different thing. Was like the naked people
Old man dick gives me superpowers.
motivated your
If you're-
fucking.
Superpowers,
if
yeah.
your turn was,
It's my creatine.
great.
I don't need to buy the powder anymore.
See, but
I
that
just need one good set of eyes.
when you see somebody,
I don't
who
need
can make
kratom,
that
I need
turn
scrotum.
Yes.
early.
Hilarious.
That's-
Yes. Make the
that's
sticker
perfect.
or the shirt. I'll
Yeah.
buy it. But yeah, so I would do that, and then once I got here and broke up with the Reno cheater, it was game on.
Yeah, it was just every day. What was the first club that you just spent like the store?
Lined up for the open mics out here a bunch. Jamie told
At
me
the Laugh
I
Factory
got
open
feedback from once. Yeah, you do the open mic and then you get feedback. So I was real big on that. The store I worked at, and that's got a special place in my heart. And but they all do.
What was your first break into like one of the big clubs? What was the thing where you finally?
Well, the Factory was the first one I performed at, and a buddy of mine actually from USC was in the broadcast journalism school, and now works for the Dodgers. And he was doing a news story on the Factory, and he was like, "Hey, I know you kind of like stand up, like, and and I was an actor, and I was like, funny guy in the fraternity and whatever." And he was like, you should come up with me and go. I get to go to the Factory and film this piece. And I was like, that'd be amazing. So we went up, and nobody's there, and I'm walking around like just all this. And I went on stage at one point because nobody was there. He just got let in by somebody that was like, yeah, fucking film your story here, whatever.
Yeah.
And so he was up at the top in the balcony trying to get a shot, just like an establishing shot of the stage from the second level. And I was down there, and I'd taken the mic out, and I started like pretending to do stand up. And he fucking like was taping it, so he sent it to me like, man, this is probably like, I don't know, 7 months ago. And I was like, that's so crazy, because first stage I ever went on out here, and then first open mic I lined up for. And then Jamie was like, I was doing jokes about being a fat kid, and one of my jokes was like, it wasn't all of that. I was the first one in the 5th grade to get a set of tits, and it didn't have to pay for a bra because nobody expected me to wear one, and I would charge my friends $5 to fill me up. Kit Kats ain't cheap. And so I get up there, and Jamie was like, buddy, dude, you're up there. You're comfy on stage, but all your jokes, hey, look at me with my fat fuck tits, come fuck my tits for candy bars. You just can't be. And I'm like, I never said that. He literally like paraphrased what I said and made it a different bit. And I was like, I just said how I was fat, and I said, and he's like, no, your buddy, you're up there going, hey, come fuck my tits at recess. I'm like, no. He literally was adding. He's like, I'll give you a chocolate for your butt. Like, it's just it's trade jokes. I'm just like, I'm sorry. And I didn't know any better. Someone was like, yeah, I'll stop doing comedy. What's the note? And then he's like, come back in 8 months and do it without the fuck shit tits stuff. And I was like, all right. And then, and I did come back, but did other, stuff. And then, anyway, so to do that there and then have that moment. And then finally I met Jay Davis when I was working at a casting office, and he came in and I got to run the camera. I got, was so long they would let me run, sessions for stuff. And Jay comes in, reads me, and then he's like, and I was like, oh man, I see you at the shows. I've tried to go live for it. I know you're there, and tour guys and all that. He's like, anytime you want, oh my God, hey brother, anytime you want to go to a show, anytime just hit me up. And I was like, all right. So I texted him, and I came down, and it was packed, and it was a huge, Dane was just owning the strip, and I was out there, and I texted him. I was like, fuck it. It's so packed and whatever. And I'm starting to leave, and he goes, Adam Ray. And I was like, he goes, come on. And walks me through and walks me in, just sits down and goes, sit in this booth here and watch a show. Watch a show. It's just unreal. Cut to 2 months later. He's like, do you want to do a 5-minute cold opening spot and bring me up? So I do that on a Saturday night weekend show. And I'm again like
packed.
Fucking 2 years in or whatever, and just do 5 minutes, and did some joke about being I go, I got to stop smoking weed. I'm not good at hiding it. I was at the mall, and the this cop stopped me. He was like, hey son, you want to tell me why your eyes are so heavy? I was like, oh yeah, man, I was swimming in a pool without goggles, and I smoked some pot, so that's probably what's got something to do with that. And now get a good laugh, and my girlfriend at the time taped it, and I was like, holy shit, fucking the light was crazy. And then I just started turning it up a notch and just really got a little taste of something.
Yeah.
Like that was a little taste and a little. And it just all the ideas of like going there with my buddy for the story, and then like the open mic, and then that, and then I was like, now I kind of have an in to be there and try to go to more shows when Jay's there to be around, because he clearly has welcomed me in a little bit here, and then to just get on the shows, and then going by myself just to see Dane, and then being on shows with Dane, and like being not only was one of the early guys I got real into with comedy, but really got to see live and got to see the come up and see. Yeah. Nobody, even to this day, I feel like I've held a crowd in the palm of their hand like that.
I feel like what people forget with the whole like Dane Cook aftermath, and what people don't know,
not to be confused with the Afterlaugh, the name of this podcast,
is that like people don't, and like maybe you don't know because you were around, Tommy, but like people forget like dude. Dane was the biggest fucking beast.
Can't sleep on that. Well, and it was crazy, and to see it live like this much in a club like that.
That's what I mean. People who like would judge him in the Comedy Central, whatever. I'm like, watch him in Laugh Factory in like 2004.
Yeah, you can't argue
and it was
that.
Fucking crazy.
He had a way of doing comedy that is still the way that people emulate now. Like you can see a before and after Dane Cook.
Yeah, I agree.
And for example, and I can actually show it because you can see it in the younger comics because they grew up watching like I did. Like I was a little older, but the young people of 14, 15 who grew up on him started writing like that, which is to start telling a story and be extremely descriptive along the story and exaggerate so much on the story description that it becomes an enlightened point of that story.
Yeah.
Like, so if I'm doing an impression of like, if he's going to, I was going to the bar. I was going to the bar. I got a lift, an oob lift. He would combine words, and you're like, how is that happening?
Yeah,
that's a pretty good name.
He would just say every part of the car that weren't a setup to a punch.
Yeah,
everything was a punchline.
Yeah,
because he was writing a new way of doing it.
Yeah,
interesting. Wow, I've never thought of it that way.
Crazy to see also somebody take comedy to a different level as far as like the rock star element of it, and to it just made, I feel like it made it fun, like I feel like what I was like watching and seeing at the clubs too at that time, I was like, oh, it was a good time to see it and get like that bug for it when you're starting to get like interest. I was like, oh, see him and Joe Coy and Ari Spears a lot, and then so anyway,
Ralphie May, yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. And so to be tied in with that club and then see that and then be on shows with them, and then first time you see yourself on the marquee, which is always cool.
Yeah.
But after all that, like that's when I and I think it's so easy that everybody does it. Like whatever level you're at, you're always thinking of like what's next and what else I got to do and what's out there. And so to really take a second to think about any sort of the progress you've made or the path that it took is we just all do it so too often to just like overlook any of that, like the growth, like look what you did, like to go from there to there. And I had this moment like maybe like a couple of years ago when I was telling a buddy who was visiting down here, and he was like asking the same question that you just don't think about too. How often are we like, what club really means the most? Like what's been my journey? You never think, because you're just in that grind. So you're just going from here to here, not making any time to fill in some silence with like some extra shit. And so to think about. And so when he asked me that, like you just did, it made me think. And then I kind of went through and genuinely was telling him what I've just told you. And it was like, and he was like, that's fucking cool. And I was like, yeah, it is cool. I get, like, but I just never.
Of course.
And we all have our own version of that, whatever it is that if you're committed to this, you've just grown. And then every time you look at like how you've grown, you maybe assess it being like, well, I want to be here, so I went there, so I really feel like I did half of that because I want to be, you know what I'm saying? And just overly analyze.
Do you ever ask yourself this question? And maybe I'm asking you this question now.
Crystal Clear Pepsi or Surge?
Absolutely.
Which beverage did you think?
Surge still around?
How
Surge,
dare you?
Dude, it had guarana.
Oh,
what is that?
You remember guarana?
No.
That extra thing that they would tout as part of Surge, like it's got guarana.
It was like
what is
that
it?
was
They're
a
like,
selling point.
Yeah,
It was Brazilian,
know why
so
it
it
didn't
had to be
work out.
it
effective.
had to be good.
There was a group of people real quick that came to my middle school, Kellogg, in 7th grade, and they were like sponsored, like the way you would see people walking around with like Red Bull, where they'd be like, like a party, like a hot girl with like, who wants wings? And you're like, wait, what? Because Red Bull, I got it. And then you take the Red Bull and you drink it. They had these kids at our school giving out free Surge, and they were pushing this drink. And guess what was in it, dude? Gasoline.
What?
Mr. Pibb, cum. It was just like
That's what you assume.
no, dude, it just tasted awful, and I only know that from the gasoline part. It was a beverage that you didn't
Mr.
want,
Pibb.
but they push on you. No, Pibb has got to be in there.
Oh, Surge, they pushed
And
it,
I
yeah.
take back the Pibb part. By the way, imagine being at a party and you're like, dude, Mr. Pibb, and they go, dude, I love Brad Pitt, and you go, no, Mr. Pibb, and you have to correct them, and they're like entering the conversation, be like, dude, are we gonna talk about how great and underrated Brad Pitt is? And you're like, no, we're actually talking about Mr. Pibb versus
By the
Dr.
way,
Pepper.
What
Who's
is
got
the
better
flavor?
pep?
Because
Pip or
Dr.
Pep?
Pepper is a flavor of like gum. It's a flavor, but there's
Whoa,
no Mr.
whoa.
Pibb flavor.
There's Dr. Pepper gum.
There's like Dr. Pepper, like kombucha and shit. You know what I mean?
Dude,
Like
next thing
it's
you're gonna
20
tell
Dr.
me,
Flavor,
flavors mixed
Dr. Pepper
together.
is a flavor, but is Mr. Pibb a flavor?
I think
the
what's
fuck is
stupid
Mr.
about it
Pibb?
is like, instead of taking pepper and being like, oh, they're using the word pep, they could have gone like Mr. Light or Mr. Bubble, you know what I mean? But they just took the sound.
no, I don't.
They just took
but
the
I
sound
want to know
pep
so bad.
and went to Pibb.
Mr. Bubble,
Like
where's
a-
that character,
like-
and how do I buy it?
Mr.
How do I
Bubble.
buy?
Pibb is
Is that
the
the
thing.
is that the
Pibb is
shampoo
the
bottle that talks to you?
That
Hey, I'm
was-
Mr. Bubble. You guys trying to get clean, but also like a little bit of.
Bubbles?
Mr. Bubbles was a all right.
Yo, Mr. Bubbles was not Mr. Bubble. There's a
Mr.
fine difference between Barney and Barney's. You know what I'm saying?
Good afternoon, Mr. Bubble. How can I help you?
Wow, please,
That was
if
profound,
something
man.
happens to me tomorrow, please isolate that audio and just send it to everybody I know.
know it was Mr.
Because
Bubble.
they'll go, dude, he was having a great time. He said there's Barney and there's Barney's.
Which is so true. One's a Purple Dinosaur, one's a men's clothing shop.
Thank you. And if they don't know that, you put that below the placard so that the joke is clear. I don't want anyone at the funeral going, what did that even? Oh, shit. There's a dinosaur and there's a men's
All
clothing.
right.
It's in
That's
New
pretty
York.
funny. It's probably good he's dead.
So
What's that?
here's what I was going to ask you.
Just explaining jokes in your eulogy.
I want that from all the family.
No, but do you get it?
You knew you wanted to do
Yes.
comedy early, right?
Probably.
You were doing it in high school. You're doing tapes for your friends on the bus, essentially.
Yeah.
But if you want to be a stand-up or just
Right.
a comedic actor.
A comedian.
stand-up
Just
comedian,
the
yeah.
word
You just don't
comedian
know
can
that.
be general now, to
Yeah.
mean a lot of things. But if you went back at that and could talk to 14-year-old Adam right now and just rattle off a few of your credits and be like, hey, real quickly, you're going to be in
It's okay.
You're going to be in Ghostbusters.
By the way, little Adam, you won a lottery ticket.
And Adam's going to be like, Adam's going to be like, I'm sorry, what? And you're like, no, you're not just going to be in Ghostbusters. You're going to be two people. Well, one ghost and a person simultaneously in the same, like
You're struggling to explain
struggling
it to
Adam.
yourself.
Do you ever think about talking to yourself
No,
like
I don't.
because you should, because that's a fucking
there's
awesome
an answer to
thing.
this. I don't know. I think talking at 14, I don't think I'd be career concerned yet at 14. I think I'd be like, look, I'm starting to really look at boobs a lot. What's the next move? You know, is it trying to see one? Is it trying to just take a bra off and then just go, those are great, and then leave and, be a good guy? Mm-hmm. Or do you ask a friend about it? Do you try to wrangle some magazines, So I tell him like, yo, dude, just wait it out because in about 10 years, on your computer, dude, you're going to be able to just...
Yeah.
Imagine just, what are you thinking about right now? Tits. Right.
Yeah.
Imagine thinking that onto a screen. Guess what, dude? The world is your oyster.
Yeah.
.com has the craziest porn. So I'd probably give a heads up there. I don't know, man. At 14, too, I was so...
By the way, that'd be a genius scene. He goes, talk to your younger self, and you go back and you just talk about porn.
You're just like, dude, don't worry.
Yo.
Like a 12-year-old kid.
She didn't say yes to the dance, but someday.
Oh, at 14, I got dumped by a girl named Erin Domingo, who's now married to a kid with 3 kids, my buddy Ben. And
Kid with 3 kids.
and so maybe 4 kids. So
There's a sitcom for you.
Ben was my buddy Ben.
A kid with 3 kids.
A kid with 3 kids. Don't forget that. Or Barney. There's a difference between Barney and Barney.
Barney's. Yo, that's so profound. Wait, do we need like...
It's going to be in the
sorry.
episode description, just quotations.
A kid with 3 kids is like follows Home Improvement in a perfect world.
Yeah.
And a perfect world follows Home Improvement. So they're like, we got a lineup problem.
Tim Allen's also in it as one of the
Tim
kids.
Allen's like, I'm in a perfect, what is it? A perfect problem? What did I say? That's a Harrison Ford movie.
Perfect problem.
A perfect problem.
Barney
Perfect
and
Problem
Barney.
was a Harrison Ford movie? That
Sounds like it.
Terrible fucking
He goes,
movie.
where's my son? And they go, it's quite the problem, isn't it? Harrison. Cut. I'm sorry, what's his name? Jack.
The perfect
Jack
problem.
Beaver. Really? That got approved?
Yeah. Keep rolling. I'm loving this.
I'm loving this. I'm loving this. Are
I
you
do-
getting this? Are you getting this?
By the
loving
way,
it?
I do want to talk about how you got connected with Paul Feig.
Feig.
Paul Feig.
Yeah.
Because that's obviously a huge turning point in your life that you
was
got
cool.
cast in the Heat, right?
That helped, yeah. It was cool for the time.
I mean, that's a big, to get a
It was
studio
cool to get a
feature.
little bit of a bump. And
Do you feel like change like opportunities?
nothing
for you?
changed. No. We had more auditions, more in more rooms and meet more people and a little bit of a confidence booster. But I remember Bobby Lee, when I went out to film, was like, dude, keep it grounded because when you come back, you still get your shitty ass spots here. And I was like, fucking yeah. And then because I was starting to kind of feel like, oh man.
I'm going to be.
And I kind of jokingly would say to him, like, shit's fucking gonna change, whatever. And even, and more joking than serious, but even the serious a little bit in with the joke, Bobby would be like, I know you whatever doing a bit. He's like, but fucking don't know that when you come back here, like it just never stops.
Never
and you got
ends.
to keep, because he could sense that I was kind of being like, oh, I think it's gonna this is gonna be a big deal,
Yeah,
And he was
of
like,
course.
it may or may not. So keep both those ways of thinking open, and that helped. But yeah, getting in that was cool, and just to have that experience, whether it was just scene with just me and Sandra or me and Melissa and Sandra, all my scenes were with them, so all my hanging out was with them. So that also is getting to be more confident and being like, hey, yeah, like I'm just hanging out with people like post or pre or post show at a comedy
Yeah.
club,
Yeah.
but they are trying to forget that they're of that stature, and so just that whole experience, every experience helps. So it's like.
Yeah.
Even if it didn't lead to I would have loved to in some world where it's like people go, oh, fucking it's great, and I get a really cool audition for a show and get it, and then I'm on a show right away. Yeah, that'd be awesome. But it's not a guarantee.
When you said, I want to touch about this a little bit. You said you felt confident when you were talking to him. Like, did you have a problem with self-confidence as a teenager? Do you think that's something that has
Not
fueled
really.
you as a comic? No.
No, I mean
Like you were always a popular kid and a funny kid, and had friends. And shit.
Sort of, yeah. I mean, just fine. I just wasn't a piece of shit. I was to make people laugh, and so people like being around you if you're doing that. I never felt like nervous in large groups and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, for like school plays and stuff, I always got nervous.
Yeah.
But just hanging out like this always felt pretty comfy, and always felt compelled to like, if it was in a high school party and people were sitting around a fire pit, no one's really talking or whatever. Like I felt weird that it was silent, so I just wanted to like fill the gap, and so we'd just start talking or whatever. So that also in any situation, and whether that's like 5th grade in a fucking Cub Scout overnight or whatever it is, I just felt like not being super chatty, but just trying to like be like, all right, so what's the topic while we're all in this tent together? Like whatever, what are we doing right?
Yeah.
Was there
not how I would phrase it, but it was just like trying to like start hanging out basically. If people were like not, or in a social circle at a party, and I still do this now. If I'm just like, I can't sit there and let it be weird or whatever. I'm just like, I'm secure enough to
taking the wheel.
to take the wheel in this fucking social moment and get us.
I think someone's having sex next door, but it's cool. Keep going.
Well, a guy screamed, and then she said, "Ow!" And then he was like, "I know." So that could not sound like
for sure.
a perfect problem. This fall, Harrison Ford is Jack Donner.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I don't know what's happening in this house here.
I've got a problem, and it's not perfect. Cut. Harrison, the line is...
I've got a perfect problem.
The problem is perfect.
It's the new Houston, there is a problem. No, Houston, we have a problem? What is it?
Problem. I got a problem. Perfect.
I got a problem. Perfect. And then somebody in the back goes, that is a better title. I get up and they go,
Then he gets
Alan, get
fired.
the fuck out
Well,
of here.
then cut me out of it.
You know I've been trying to do things differently.
Who said that? Who said that?
I love that.
Wait, Adam, have you ever performed stoned? Have you performed?
Oh, yeah, dude. But the last time I did it was probably 8 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did it go that bad?
Oh, yeah. I'd say I probably did it like 30 times in those first 4 years.
And probably when it's great, I imagine.
A few times when I got maybe a joint, just felt good and just didn't question anything. So I just like, if you're up there just not questioning and you're fearless and you're not, and you're dialed in, but you're truly just like, and I felt that, and it was a crazy feeling to just be like, and there was maybe 20 people at the haha.
Yeah.
But it was just crushing for 20 people. I was just like, whoa, I just feel really, you just feel that upgrade
Just ride it.
in confidence and ownership of the stage and what's going on. And I was
Yeah.
like, whoa. And then but I still was like, all right, I was high and whatever, and I can't do that to get on stage the next night. But the next time it happened was probably a couple of weeks later. And I was like, I can perform high, but I was too high. And I went there and it was just like bad news bears. And at one point it was just quiet and somebody just goes, you fucking blaze, bro. And my eyes were real cast. And I went, because it was on tape and I remember watching it back because I used to ask Jack to tape the DVDs. And he was like, come on, $35. I was like, fucking, come on, man. Just, all right, next time. Yeah. And he was cool and he was great with stage time and real helpful at that point. And
So you saw the tape.
but I go, So he goes, you're big, bro. And I just
You're
kind of
on
paused.
stage?
I just kind of and it was just bad. It'd been quiet it was one of the things where I was like, and like when you go, so when you go to the grocery store, like you're like, could we get some more food in here? and people, a few people were laughing because they knew I was high, and it was kind of funny, and then but not great by any means. And then it was be more quiet than not, and I kept just like living the pauses. And then one time I paused, and I remember I go, so I did that with like my voice, and then I just lost it because then I saw myself
Think of
outside
whose
of that.
audience is here.
Yeah. And then I just
We're
go,
on that
no.
same
And
level.
the guy was like, you're baked, bro. And I was like, it's like, you're baked, bro. And then he was like, good one. And I was like, it was a good one. It was a good one and a good two, a good three. And then I just like, him and I got into it, and we just started like having a chat, and like nothing was funny happening. I was just like, "What are you guys doing after this?" And he was like, "Probably going home." And I was like, "Hell yeah, man! You got I go give it up for Holmes." I was like Sherlock and the place where you live, and it was just like madness, and just there was no comedy to it. I was just being silly. And which I guess is
and you
comedy.
were able to watch the tape of it. That's pretty great.
Oh, a few minutes. Yeah.
I can't watch it. Yeah.
Well, I was up there for 20 minutes, which is way too long.
Yeah.
So that was the last time, and it was just like I didn't like how I felt, and it was, and I go, I wasn't in control, and I had the other time was way better, and I go, so but I still like I could go do a show right now.
Yeah.
Would I want to? No, because I'm not like fully present. I'm not.
Yeah.
Really, I'm not like drunk or like not able to go through the motions and do it, but it's just that's not fun.
Now I like to smoke weed
for me
before sex, guys.
Yeah.
But then I've had a girl complain and say, "Well, you're not present," but I feel like it's better. So, I guess my question is, can comedy be better? Can you make it consistently better smoking weed?
Also, well, let's talk about it real quick. Was that it then, or?
But I'm just saying, like, yeah,
No,
she's
did
like,
she-
you're not present when we're having sex.
Is it because?
But
and
that's
you're like,
part of the great
well, look,
thing about it.
Well, were you like staring like were you holding an iPad while you were like? What was the true thing that kept you from being
He was
engaged?
staring at a.
I think
like
it's
a,
just
a-
like whenever
a
someone's
lava lamp.
stoned, someone who's not stoned will go like, "You're not really here with me, are you?
Yeah.
You're a victim of this big foggy drug."
No, I'm here, Doc.
It's because you're smiling more.
Yeah.
They're like,
no,
you
I
must-
feel like it makes you very present.
Absolutely right. Well, statistically, science says that it just slows time down.
Don't do that.
What?
Statistically.
You know how late
right.
it is? You just said
You
the
know
word
how late it is? You're trying to
statistically.
give us math homework right now. Statistically, I'm like, oh, I got to think about numbers.
So, wait, well, Adam, I did want to talk about also, how's your comedy changed since you started in...
Spark that baby up.
Like, what would you say the biggest change? Do you think, like, your voice changed, your style changed? Do you think...
From what?
Like, just from when you started, like, what was the biggest... like, for me, the probably biggest change, like, I was strictly just physical comedy my first, like, 2 or 3 years.
And great, by the way.
I was just, like, tripping on shit. I was like Jack Tripper. And probably influenced a lot by Dane in that way. But, and so now I kind of, I don't think about it. But in the beginning, that was, like, my way in. Like, for you, was impersonations was your way in? Or, like, voices?
I'd say doing the impersonations of the kids in class.
Who was your first impersonation that you did on stage that fucking killed?
Oh man, probably Cosby or Bill Clinton. I went to a church sports camp. I was the only Jew. And 4 of my best friends were going with their church group, and they're like, "Yeah, it's like 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. You're at the beach and you do water sports, and there's a basketball court and soccer field, and like you hang out and you jet ski and all that." And then they're like, "There's some Jesus talk, and then there's a fucking lunch, and there's a talent show." And I was like, "It's like an hour of Jesus shit." And they're like, "Yeah, man." They figured out a way for me to go, and it was dope. And the girls there, and jet ski 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. just partied all day and did that, and then you come back and you fuck around a little bit more, and then I'd have to sit down in these circles and have the guy who runs the whole camp being like, "Adam, can I talk to you for a second?" Jesus was a Jew, and you're like, "What's going on right now, man? You pulled me out of a game of pickup for this shit. What's going on?" I was like, "Come on, man. I literally got bar mitzvah like 4 years ago. Like, I'm all set, And he was just like, fine. But, and so that was like a small portion of the camp. So I went to that, and there was a talent show. Here's my point of the story. There was a talent show. And our talent show at one point was just me doing a bunch of voices and basically making up a play. And the other 4 dudes, I would sit in the back and be like, and then Kermit the Frog said, "Hey guys, so look, who's sleeping on the futon and who's sleeping on?" And then like one of the guys would like lip sync that.
Oh,
And he was like
lip-sync it. That's
Kermit.
hilarious.
I was like, and then Bill Clinton showed up and was like, "Hey man, I feel like I should get the futon, And I would just do
my
like all
God.
these, and then
That's
Splinter.
kind of genius.
That's literally
And then
an improv
Splinter
game.
would be there, and I did like you know, and then Splinter was in the corner. I mean, it wasn't as just like, and then Mike Tyson said.
Wait,
but
were you making it all up?
Yeah, yeah. But I was just making up a story, being like, and then Mike Tyson walked over to the fridge and was like, who took all the yams? Did you take the yams? And then Kermit, Kermit, like, and he, you know how he fucking loved, Kermit loved his yams, you know, and then whatever, and just fucking some crazy, and then it would always get real perverted, and there's a lot of dirty sex shit, and then the guy who
At
was
the
like,
Jesus camp.
hey man, can you not, can you, you know, he had to come over and be like, dude, and he stood in front of the curtain at one point and goes, and that's the show. Like, have we done?
Kermit doesn't need to fuck Bill Clinton in this sketch.
No, it wasn't that crazy, but it was just like, it was, again, like, but it just, yeah, an improv exercise. And
That's
so
amazing.
that was, again, another like early thing where I was like, if you can get your mics up to, who's playing right now, by the way?
Someone's playing piano at 1 a.m. in the morning right now.
I would love for this just to be the score of the rest of the episode.
Yeah, it's great.
Somber.
Wait, break it down. Make
Wait,
it emotional. Let's make it a little emotional. Do you have something to talk about
Well,
that'll
you have to
make
tell
you sad?
the
Wait,
kids
listen.
for the future.
Yeah, there's a
Dang,
very
it's kinda
somber-
beautiful.
It's almost like the end of the Incredible Hulk piano music, like walking
Yeah,
down the
walking
road with
away.
the backpack.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh yeah, the son with the backpack. What was the whole? Yeah, what happened? I haven't seen the end of that. Thanks for fucking ruining it. You haven't seen the end of the Hulk with the kid walks
the
with the
original
backpack,
Hulk.
hitchhiking. What was he
original-
doing?
The original
Was he
Hulk from
hitchhiking?
1970.
I haven't seen it. Did he hitchhike?
when he hitchhiked the original TV
Well, you said he
show,
gave a
The
thumbs
Hulk,
up.
I think he would like hitchhike with his backpack.
he
was
was-
looking to fuck dudes. Let's be honest.
Clearly
that was
was
100%
honest
what was
about
happening.
Wasn't he just needed to get out of away from people, right?
whatever the
He just
town.
needed to leave. Just needed
Yeah.
to
Oh,
get
because
out.
nobody understood him, huh?
Yeah, because he's the Hulk.
He's like, ain't
Hulk smash.
nobody know
So,
about me. What if you were
Wait,
saying
Adam, you
that?
could also sing too, right?
the little kid's walking away. He goes, and then you just cut to a shutter on the front. He goes, "Don't nobody know about me." And then you're just like, oh, "This is how the movie's ending." Just little kid Hulk being like, and then it goes to be don't.
Saying the Hulk becomes a singer. He just sings
Yeah,
randomly.
and it
at the
says
end
to
of the
be
movie.
continued. But then they show like a trailer for the next movie right after.
What
You're
if
like, was
he
that the end
sings
of
the,
the movie?
whole end credits music?
Dude,
Yeah, there's something going on.
people messing up piano like song is just the best. You
Yeah,
know?
Especially when you get like
That
three
was
quarters of the
true
way
anger.
through it too.
Wait, hold
Like,
on.
you got so
I think we have
close.
to. I think we have to get this train back on the tracks for a second.
Dude, the train has
left.
no, dude, not even left the station that takes trains to the station. You
Now,
know
by
what
the
I'm
way,
saying?
are you
It's in
getting
the
are you
bullpen.
getting texts from a friend? Are you single or married or what? Are you?
I'm not married.
Let's not talk
but I
about
have
it.
a girlfriend.
You do have a girl. I
Yeah.
think I met her.
You might have. Oh,
Do you find it's hard to have a relationship in comedy? Is that a thing that is just sort of
Not
overblown?
now?
She's not a
I
comic
did my
though,
single
right?
Thing. She's not.
Thank God.
I don't know. It's great. It's just if you know, I like being with her a lot, so that helps. And also, at some point you just gotta, I don't know, not be there's a bug
not
that's
be
gonna
a
eat that pillow.
not be a dick.
Yeah, not I don't know, not have that be what fills your thinking so much, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Man, I mean, it's so easy to just be wrapped up in like, trying
Yeah.
to make out
Well, look, I always feel like when you're on the
or
road,
whatever.
when you're on the road and you want to be, you have a girlfriend, the options are either you got to drink yourself into oblivion, you got to do drugs yourself oblivion, or you got to be a fucking nerd. You got to be a nerd and sit around and read.
Play a Ouija board.
Or because if you do anything
Alone.
else, like if you do anything else other than
Those
be
are
complete
crazy.
nerd, being monogamous is very difficult.
Yeah.
And you're a married man, Justin. I mean, I in town it's easy, but on the road it's just like the second I check into a hotel, I'm like, I want to fuck anything right now.
Well, you have access to porn now, though. I mean, you really do. And beyond that, you also are in a hotel room. If you're getting laid on the road, then you're doing a good job. Like most comics I talk to aren't necessarily getting laid on the road no matter what.
Really? And they're trying to?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Adam's good looking.
Statistically.
Yeah.
Statistically, thank you.
Now, Adam, do you feel that you have like maybe because you're obviously by any metric a good looking dude. I would even say that you're a sex symbol, Adam.
Nope.
But you have the
My mom's friends from Templewood, though. Kathy Shivitz wants to bone.
Adam,
and Kathy,
Adam,
I know you're listening to this shit.
as
You've been looking at me weird sometimes at temple functions.
You're like the
That's all I'm
Brad
gonna say.
Pitt of Jews. Let's be
Not
honest.
true.
Okay.
Totally. I would
So-
concur with you on this.
So my point is, but you were a fat kid.
Yep.
Do you feel like do you ever think about like I'm a fat kid at heart, or do you look at yourself and go, oh, I'm a good looking man, or do you
glow
feel
up.
like you're like, do you know
I
what I
don't
mean?
know. I don't think. Yeah,
I guess
great question.
ugly
I wish I
duckling
got
syndrome.
that heady with life, but no, I
never
I
think
mean,
about that shit.
No,
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, yeah. You're asking if I look in the mirror sometimes and go, "There you are.
There you are.
Hey,
like
look
me."
at you, young fat me. You look good. Are you hitting on me, old me? No. Chill.
By the way, let me tell you about porn. Hey, fat Adam, let me tell you about how this porn 10
yeah,
years.
man. No,
A kid with kids.
a kid with kids. Dude, who stars in that?
Like, I think there's a lot of people with like ugly
Ryan
duckling
Seacrest.
syndrome. Like Dane's a good example. Like he had like acne. He was kind of
yeah.
fat and weird, and then he became a
Figured
movie
it
star at
out,
some
yeah,
point.
man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's a weird. What's next for you in terms of like what are you looking at? Like is acting a fucking bugaboo for you?
yeah.
Is it all comedy or do you
No.
think?
I'm editing a documentary that I
Whoa.
shot and funded and
Can you say what it's about?
oh sure, dude. So this through a family friend of mine from a kid I went to college with, and her family introduced me to a guy named Brian, who's a physical therapist and crazy guru stretcher, make you feel better, made me avoid back surgery by 3 days of stretching type
Wow.
guy. His brother, who I met, Doug, at 17, jumped into, he was going to Harvard Law and ended up being a huge criminal lawyer and was freak athlete in college, or going to play in college. And 17, jumped into a pool in New Jersey to save a boy who was drowning and hit his neck on the bottom and
fucking
paralyzed. Oh, hey, guess what? The boy was faking drowning. And so Doug is paralyzed from neck down and no feeling in his arms. And,
Oh my
and just
God.
very, very moving. Brian quits law school, his brother, and starts to pick up this, trying to better his quality of life, and in the hospital and helping him just, get life and his spirits up, and then doing these things with his neck and weights and hands and trying to get him like his upper body strong and his dexterity in his hands and just fucking rehabbed him and got him, and then they're like, dude, and he's like, a year from now is the wheelchair Olympics, and we're gonna get you in a year from the injury when he's in the hospital. He's like, I'm gonna get there, and so they got there, and he fucking won and became a world champ and gold medalist, and then on a Wheaties box, one of fucking 36 people on a Wheaties box, ended up doing these public speaking tours with it was him, Michael Jordan, Muhammad Ali, Mary Lou Retton, Bo Jackson, Joe Montana. And he's all, and became just, a huge deal. And then did criminal law. And anyway, just an amazing story.
Yeah.
And him and his brother, who's just a fucking character, Brian, and his mom, who's like a spitting image of Brian. She's 95. And we went there and we got all these interviews. And I was at the Helium in Philly, and so I brought some buddies out who shot a bunch of sketches for me and was like, let's take my sets on the weekend, then let's get 4 days of stay here and interview all of them. And then, because he had all these pictures with him and the Clintons and Barkley, just all these people on this wall and all his accolades, and such a big deal at one point. And I was like, do you have photos and video? And he proceeds to show us a couple hours of shit of just all this footage of interviews and news stories and carrying everything and him with all the public speaking thing. And I was just like, oh, there's a doc, there's a
documentary
doc
right
here,
there.
like with all of that stuff. Any
Yeah.
good doc has all that
Of course.
archival footage
The
to
found
help
footage, yeah.
fill the story. So now when you're getting them talking brilliantly and articulately and with a lot of they're such characters of themselves and so likable, and then you have all this footage, and so now I finally got to a buddy who's cutting me this sizzle to then go to my friend's folks who got some cash and know them too really well. And when I told them about that I was going to do it, they were like, keep us posted, we want to fucking, so I'm going to probably get more money from them and then go maybe shoot some more. I want to now get the ending with Doug being, maybe entering another competition at this age, late 50s, or or him speaking, just some structural closure to like what he's doing now and after, something that's like or maybe it's building to another competition. Ideally, that would be dope. But just getting the money to go do that, maybe get some interviews with some of the athletes or doctors. It might not need more than that, but
do you plan on doing more directing stuff after?
Dude, it was awesome.
Yeah,
fucking for sure.
That's awesome.
That'd be cool.
Now,
But-
were you in,
so that's
were you in
what
the documentary, or you're just behind
No,
the
I'm
camera
just
the whole time?
directing and
that's very cool.
asking all the questions and doing all that. But anyway, that's just one thing I'm working on, but that's not coming out. I mean, maybe once we get the money to maybe finish it and whatever. But this guy crushed this sizzle, man. It's so cool to see it like actually come
that's
together
amazing.
a little bit.
I mean, I'd watch that shit.
Oh,
Jesus.
definitely.
It's great,
Good
man.
story.
That's like an
I'll send
Oscar.
it to
That's
you.
like an Oscar nominee.
I was already completely.
Did I do a good job kind of
I
describing
mean,
it?
I couldn't
It
believe
was funny how the piano fit in too.
Oh,
You know what
did
I mean?
it?
They
Was
may
it
not be able
feeling?
to hear the piano, but-
And you were
It was
telling this
perfect.
heroic
It was
story.
perfect.
I was captivated.
Yeah, I really
yeah.
hope. I really hope you.
Yeah, no, I'm falling
Glad
through
to
with that.
see it.
And then my album's out called Read the Room. It's on Spotify and,
It's great.
and, iTunes
It's good.
and Google
It's really
Play.
good.
Thanks,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
And then on a cartoon called She-Ra on Netflix that DreamWorks does. And then there's a new show I'm on that comes out that's Seth Green and the Robot Chicken guys and Breckenmeyer and Adam Pally and Tony Hale. And it's a filthy like claymation medieval time show. So like
Yeah.
a dirty Game of Thrones, but it's all claymation. And I play Seth Green's brother, who's
Yeah.
like the
Do you think
douchebag.
that if you had to like chop off a limb of your talents, like if it was acting, stand up, or voiceover, do you think there's one that would like satisfy you the most? Like if you had to pick one, because obviously your
they're so
voiceover voiceover work is, we haven't really touched upon it. It's extensive, man. Like you've
I mean, I was going to do a few cool things, and
Yeah.
but I mean,
And that's
stand up.
understatement.
You can't face
nothing
stand-up,
replaces
man.
stand up. Yeah.
But like, voiceover pays most of the bills, and I really love. But it's not. It's just a different muscle, and it's a different. Stand up you just can't beat. There's just too many things about it that are exciting.
Yeah. So when you do voiceover,
And nighttime too. I think I'm more of a nighttime person. So
Yeah.
most of the other work happens pre-sundown. So it's like.
and you can't really improv your voiceover stuff, right? It's kind of
No, you can, yeah.
Oh, you can.
Oh, yeah. Especially did some Robot Chicken stuff, and that was like a ton of that.
Yeah.
After it was the writers are great, so like a lot of scripted.
They hire
attention.
people that can riff intentionally.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And any good comedy, I think, wants
seems
that
fun.
if they know what they're casting.
I voiceover voiceovers because I've never booked any. They say once you're in, it's a very small circle.
It can be, yeah. I mean, dude, there's guys.
What was your first break into voiceover? How'd that happen for you? Someone just said, "Hey, I like your voice. Make a demo."
No, I've found some shady ass manager who my buddy just dropped because I remember he tried to get me to get his kid's guitar tuned, and I was like, I went to go meet him in his office and he's like, "Hey, you play guitar?" I was like, "I mean, kind of. I got one in college and I fuck around on it, but I don't know if I can really play." He's like, "Can you get my son's guitar tuned?" And I was like, "Yeah." Do you get? I think he said it was like an audition you had for me. He was like, "No, just if you can get that guitar tuned." And I was like, "Oh boy, I'm gonna go back home to Seattle probably."
Oh my god.
And so that was awful.
But he got you.
Anyway, so that was he got me the put me in touch with somebody to make a demo to then get this voiceover agent, and then that's how Alicia started.
Yeah.
But I did ADR work for Bruce Willis for a couple years.
Wait,
and that
you
was
did
like the
his
first
voice?
job. Yeah, so,
So
the
you must be able
ADR.
to do a pretty good
That's how I met.
impersonation.
No, I don't. I was able to like mimic his voice a little bit.
Let me hear.
But
Let me hear a little bit of that.
I don't. I mean, it's not even an impression. It literally was like listening to a. I'd listen to a bunch and then I would just like immediately do it back. But it was a lot of like really breathy, like you should maybe get off that couch. That pillow's too close to you. Like just really breathy, light stuff. But it's not like it's a real specific voice. Even there'd be times where I would like read a line back, and they'd play it back and be like, "Dude, that's fucking great, dude. You sound." And then at one point they even said that he said I sound more like him than me, and I literally would listen to it, and I'm like, that doesn't sound anything like him. All I hear is my voice.
Yeah.
And like you get to a point where you're like, oh yeah, I think I did like imitate that well, or I did, like you can hear it, and I'm just like, that is not close. And they're like, this is so good, dude. And I'm like, it's not.
I think-
You guys are dumb. This is not. You should not use this. And I remember I did this monologue for him in one of the GI Joes, and I remember watching it, and I was like, it literally just sounds like I was just like, it's, hey, what up, Bruce Willis time. Like, it's not even, and I just, so what, again, great example, and you don't know.
Yeah,
You
well,
know.
Dean Edwards, like, all
Dean
his
Edwards.
bills got paid for by doing Eddie Murphy as a donkey in Shrek. So all those commercials when it's cartoon donkey and Shrek, that's all Dean Edwards.
I'm going to disagree with Adam because I saw the same work he did. He was great in it. And I do a ton of voice matching ADR work. And if you do it right, like Adam did,
Yeah.
it's unnoticeable.
Dean
And
is-
he only hears it because it's in his head.
Yeah.
Dean is the man, by the way.
Yeah. He's great, man. But his his Eddie Murphy thing, like, that's the gift that keeps on giving. Like 10 years later, like,
It is.
hey, Eddie Murphy,
Yep.
he's not around. Can you do this? It's nice to have a perfect mimic of an unreliable actor.
Yeah.
A lot of work.
Yeah.
Unreliable,
Are
irreplaceable.
there other actors that you kind of like sort of ADR for, or you could do, or anyone you like? I can do this person. Like for me, the closest I could do is Matthew McConaughey, just because it's my
Do
natural
it.
accent. I mean, all right, hold on. Thing like about high school girls, I keep getting older and older. They stay the same age.
Cut, Matthew. The line actually was,
What?
hey, do you guys know where the pool hall
Hey,
is?
y'all play foosball?
No, pool hall.
Hey,
You actually made up. That actually was you, not the character, saying that thing about girls. And we did
shit,
record that. We will probably be sending you some paperwork. No, you can't just make noises, Matt. That's not going to get you out of this predicament.
So is there anyone that you naturally feel like you sound like?
Sally Field, probably.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Maybe you sound like Adam Sandler sometimes.
Is my
right? You
Sally
could do
Field ready?
Adam Sandler, right? If
Maybe,
you want
yeah, I'm
to.
sure. Yeah. Sally Field, ready?
Yeah.
Wait, give me a sec. The whole time. I have to go. We have to go. I have to go. We're leaving. I'm going.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh wow, that was good.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Here's another Sally Field, ready? Mrs. Doubtfire, will you join us?
Very
That
nice.
was
So-
pretty good.
So look, a lot of comics are going to come on this podcast and go, I do a Sally Field.
Yeah.
And you're going to be like, I bet you do.
Sally
I'm
Field
not
is
going to make you do it.
hack, to be honest. Everyone's doing Sally Field now. It's like Walken, Nicholson, Sally Field.
Hilarious if it was. Mary fuck kill, by the way. And then we'll wrap this up. What's your Mary fuck kill for that?
I
You
mean,
should walk in. Who was the other one?
you marry Nicholson because he's about to die soon. You get all of his money. You kill Walken because he's crazy.
He was on the boat with Natalie.
And then you fucking marry Sally Field.
Mary Sally Field.
Damn, he might have nailed it.
You did know it. Can I tell you a really quick Nicholson story? He was
Yeah.
at a Laker game. Got to be in that little area in the back thing, this old bar where they hang out at, and go to the bathroom where the bathroom is like a door there and a door there, just right next to each other, and then a little hallway. And then in that hallway, in the long hallway part, there was like a cutout for a little wall and a chair to sit there. So you walk in, you're standing against a wall that's just facing the two doors for the bathroom. Make sense? Layout-wise? So everyone's there. Nicholson's sitting in that corner, right? So people were waiting in line in the bathroom. He's sitting there in the chair, just kind of like in a corner that's basically almost looks like the bathroom attendant, but he's just a guy in a corner, a creepy guy in a corner, sitting there with his shades on, holding a coffee cup. Everyone's in line. Clearly, it's him. You're staying there, waiting to go in the bathroom, but everyone just wants to be like, "What up, dude? What movie are you seeing?" And he's like, "We're at the game, And but one guy was in front of me and he was shit faced and he starts fucking freaking out that Jack's there and he's like hitting his buddy. He's like, "Fuck." And Jack's starting to see them. I start watching him watch these guys plan their entry into his brain.
Yeah.
And then one of them just goes to the bathroom. So the other guy's there and he goes, "What's up, Jack? Big fan." And he was like, "Thanks." Like that. And then he goes, "What are you doing, man?" Yeah, beat. "What are you doing, man?" And then Jack goes, "Oh, dude, I'm sitting right by this guy." He goes, "What does it look like I'm doing? Drinking a fucking coffee?" Just chilling in the bathroom, drinking his coffee.
Chill in the bathroom.
"What are you doing? What do you think I'm doing? You're looking right at me, man." And I just kind of
Wow.
laughed. And he goes, "Ha, feel that?" Right? And he was just like, "Eh." And the guy goes in the bathroom, and then I went over, and I was like, "Dude," and I was fucking, big fan. Went to, an acting school. Like you're great, man. And he was like, "I appreciate it." And he's like, "You're an actor." He goes, "Never stop it." And I was like,
Whoa,
cool.
that's cool to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he could have been a fucking total dick. He'd be like, go back to fucking whenever.
Yeah.
And he'd be like,
I tried to be real brief, and I just felt like telling him, and I was like, man, a lot of your stuff
that's
is like
cool.
really, been inspiring, and like never stop it. I was just like, was a very direct, like,
Yeah.
not even like a dude, just keep at it. Like there's highs, there's downs. He was just like, don't quit.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
right?
all it is.
That's
all it is.
Yeah.
This life is just fucking.
But also,
don't
he
quit.
doesn't. It's like, what is that based off? He hasn't seen. He hasn't seen me play the Cowardly Lion in the 5th grade. And maybe he has, and maybe that's why he said, or maybe he meant to say quit, stop, but never. He just,
Oh, he meant like don't quit.
don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
Don't
quit.
quit. Oh, you're an actor. Don't quit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Too close.
man.
Throw a comment in there.
So
ruin the life.
do you Adam Ray?
Yeah,
Is
great
there a place
podcast.
where is there a place where you land? Do you have a thing where you go, man, this is where I've landed? Because you just talk about the grind and going on. That's what it is. But is there a moment where you will think I can stop and just chill for a bit?
No.
No, it's not. It doesn't exist.
Not happening
Like there's
for
no
me.
thing that you grab a ring where you go,
No.
okay, now I can just fucking go on vacation.
No.
No. Yeah.
Maybe someday.
Maybe someday. But there's nothing in your head, even you could imagine like a I don't know, an Oscar or a huge Madison Square Garden. Or is there something that like you
Fuck, I
kind
don't
of
know. No. Just addicted to it all.
yeah.
I want to just keep. It's also I don't feel like I'm at my best, or I don't feel good if I'm not trying to just
Improve.
actively improve and just for lack of a better word, create, but just do. I just
But, I
and
mean,
keep and
yeah.
and it just takes a minute to get on your feet and whatever, even if it's successful or not, but just like into the habit of doing something that you dig, and whether it's a podcast or stand up or writing or whatever, and so just getting to that place to where it's now become like second nature, and knowing how tough it is to get motivated and whatever, and it still have a lot of times when it's like anyone tough to get after just the monotony of whatever settled in, even though you feel like you are growing and you're trying to challenge yourself, but needing to be stimulated in that way with whatever it is that I am trying to and there's just so many. I've not enough time in the day, and I don't sleep enough, but I don't know, I just feel like and the comparing thing, like everybody does it. I think there's some value to it, because I think it does can light a
Propel
fire
you a little bit,
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I just want, there's a certain point, I want like what Sandler has, where you just got so much, you've done enough great stuff to where you really have like control to just be like, to go to your buddies and be like, you got any funny ideas? Do you want to make that? Remember
That
the
we
thing
can
we
do
used to
in
talk about?
Hawaii? Can we
Try
do
to
a
write
funny idea in
that. Try to write
Hawaii?
that. Oh, you're great at doing that. Oh, cool. I'm in a position to make all those things that you want to do. We'll do that. So
Yeah.
every couple of years, let's do one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'll be in it maybe, or whatever, or vice versa.
Yeah.
And then you just got your buddies and you go, come do this thing. Are you kidding me? That's what else would you want to do other than that?
Yeah. And they're always in like a cool country or Hawaii. Like he's just like, hey, we got a reverse engineer movie that takes place on a fucking island.
His next 6
Go.
movies are just places he wants to vacation.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
genius.
Which is, yeah, you're right. It's absolutely genius. And people go,
Sandler is the underrated auteur of the era. You
Totally.
know, like he
Totally.
was going out and making his own films with his own vision.
Yep.
Yeah.
In a comedy sense, and nobody
and
really
he's
talks
also
about
like
it.
shit.
on the low, he's got these amazing acting chops too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That will come out every couple of years. You'll see movies like, damn, that motherfucker can
probably made like
really
20
act.
impactful movies. It's crazy.
Tons.
Yeah. So this was a good paradigm to look at, man.
Yeah.
I know you've been here for a while.
Yeah, I gotta bounce.
You
Is
gotta
that
bounce.
cool?
You got early night. Yeah, of course. But dude, you
I mean,
you're
I could
amazing.
talk
Thank
for
you so
hours,
much.
but yeah. But I think we did that.
Yeah,
We accomplished a lot.
we'll see how long it is after we have. Anyway,
you
thanks
gonna
for
edit
coming. Are we gonna edit this? Fuck
an hour 30.
no, bro.
Oh, great. That's fine, right? How long do you usually do?
No, it's
I
great.
mean, yeah, it's perfect, man.
Cool.
Anything,
Think we had a little laughs.
anything you want to say? Anything words
Yeah,
to the
dude.
kids?
There's Barney, and there's Barney's.
There you go, guys. Remember that. All right, thanks, go, Adam Ray. And
bud.
Justin, what's your last
Justin
name again?
Ruppel.
Justin Ruppel. Sign off from the Afterlaugh.